What's happening, guys? Welcome back to another reaction. In today's video, this is kind of an impulse decision because I wasn't planning on doing this. I was planning on reacting to Stray Kids, but I planned on checking out some of their older stuff. Double Knot was potentially the one that I was going to go with, or District 9. But then, for some reason, the word Charmer popped into my head, as I think it was mentioned more than a couple of times, and that made me realize that as much as I love the stuff that I checked out from the Ordinary album, I actually haven't checked out the rest of the songs that didn't have a music video. So that's what we're going to do, and consider the Ordinary album reaction complete, because we've checked out everything by this point with this reaction. We're starting off with Charmer. If you guys enjoy this content, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, check out the Patreon where we have some exclusive reactions, including just released episode 2 of the Stray Kids Survival Show. There's 15 episodes of SKZ Code, as well as the Kingdom Legendary War reactions as well. If you're interested in some Stray Kids reactions, check out the link below. Check out the full list of all of the available reactions. It'll give you pretty much the rundown of everything that is available on Patreon for every single group. And if you see something that you may like, consider subscribing, and let's get into it. Whoa.
Living in big South City, that's the go-to 모습 없이 따라하는 재빨래 때처럼 놀림 물이 가면 핑 다 쓰러지가 ballin'. 솟은 어깨에 마치 에버레스트 걷길이 없이 매일 섰은 face 내가 뜨는 모든 고객들을 조심해 매일 트렌드를 바꾸고 새로 고침해.
Nice.
You can't resist it 몸부림쳐봐도
Oh, Lee knows how.
너무 참 마음대
Oh. Don't fucking whistle at me, because I'll come right to you. What? Sorry. No, I didn't say anything.
너무 참 마음대
Ooh.
I'm the charmer. What's up? Hey! 공금발이 손에 움켜쥐고 걸어 로즈 픽셀 박스 튀는 바람에 펄럭펄럭 구구냥생 셀럽 거머리처럼 딱 붙지 길거리에 비둘기도 구구대며 follow me 길고양이도 넋이 나간 모습 미역해 머리에 핏대와 마른 젊은 피를 시험해 신바람 나잖아 지금 이 필이 나를 알아봤다면 you're not silly.
Nice.
Chillin', yeah, every day I'm chillin', yeah. 자유로운 몸짓에 빠져들어, look at me. You can't resist it. 몸부림쳐봐도.
Felix.
Chillin', yeah, every day I'm chillin', yeah. 자유로운 몸짓에 빠져들어, look at me. You can't resist it. 날 주문해 춤춰 너무 참 마음대 I'm the charmer. 피지 않으려 해도 눈에 띄어 right. I know I'm loud. Hashtag we're going up. Yeah, we're flying around.
Nice.
지나친 관심. Oh, 소리를 괴롭히고 해도 we can be helped. Yeah, yeah. 너무 참 마음대 참아. 너무 참 마음대 참아. Yeah.
Damn. Holy shit. You cannot suppress it. Okay, this song was absolutely freaking awesome. It might be one of my favorite songs by Stray Kids yet. And the chorus is absolutely amazing. That whistle, the chorus in general, like the vibe is very haunting, which is I guess is like the purpose, because literally the pre-chorus says you'll dance to my spell. Like I put a spell on you basically. And I love the Lino and Felix interchanging between with the pre-choruses. They did a phenomenal job as far as really feeling like they're kind of like casting that spell on you, and especially in the second pre-choruses, like every time Felix uses that deep voice, it's absolutely haunting. But just in general, the raps, the singing, everything with Han, with Changbin, with Bangchan, I really love the line "shoulders held high like Mount Everest." I feel like even in the future with Free Racha, mountains were even referenced there as well. It's really, really cool because they can constantly talk about this stuff as far as their ambitions and how good they are, and the fact that haters got nothing on us, because they constantly get bigger and they get better, which is almost should be impossible. It should be illegal for them to get even better, but they get bigger as well. If like the last album was any indication with Maxident, which is why they can keep talking about these subjects. They can keep talking about their ambition and about how good they are, because they constantly move. They constantly earn those XP points, much like in Friracha. For example, they can talk about these things because it makes them relatable in a sense, because we're still the same uh people we were. We're just incredibly hungry. We have that work ethic, but at the same time here, like some of the lyrics are talking about like I'm saucing living in Big Soul City without showing any modesty, which is, you know, kind of ironic because these guys are very, very like humble. But when it's game time, it, they really dial it way up, and they annihilate the haters constantly. And I love the wordplay. I love the metaphors. I hang up the imitators on the laundry rack. If we do it, they all fall down like bowling pins. And that chorus, as far as them charming their way basically to the top, that you cannot resist their charms, but also you cannot resist that talent. Also, you can't stand it on the charmer, as far as like talking to the people that don't believe that they deserve to be there, or that they don't have the talent to be there, and all of that kind of stuff. And of course, not being able to resist them, as far as not being able to resist their charms and their talent. And sooner or later, you can fight it all you want. You will fall for us and become a fan. Basically, we'll make a fan out of haters, even potentially, and all that kind of stuff. And also, there's a line saying they stick to me like leeches, like I'm a celeb born in 1999, which, according to Genius.com, this line references to two things. The first one being Changbing's birth year, but also, and I guess that's kind of like the thing that I would think of more. Sticking to me like leeches is like paparazzis, who are very much like leeches. They're not going to leave you alone, especially when you see some of the, you know, footage back in the day with celebrities back in the early 2000s or the 90s and stuff. Like paparazzi photographers used to be fucking crazy persistent to a point where it's kind of really, really bad. So really, like the second verse reiterating the fact that everybody is intrigued and mesmerized by me, from the cats to the pigeons, and the testing the young blood with the blood of my forehead hasn't even dried. Like I'm not sure, like the blood on my forehead, like the blood of my enemies, but also the young blood, testing the young blood, as far as like testing the younger generation or something, as far as like going up against everyone. Young blood, as far as I understand, is supposed to refer to in either younger people or inexperienced people, if I'm not mistaken, something along those lines. And also like if you recognized me, you're not silly. And they're kind of like excited by all of these feelings of being like uh being followed being stuck to like cliches with the reference to the paparazzi and the year birth and all of that kind of stuff, and just being absolutely kind of like hyped for this. And if you recognized me, you're not silly. Maybe talking to the younger generation, or for those who kind of like, if we talk about like Maniac, for example, the music video, maybe recognizing them as being part of the world that is part of you that is suppressed, like living life by society's rules. When you recognize them, it's like, let your maniac come out, as literally Hyunjin, I believe, says, take out the complicated rules and loosen another screw, which is literally loose screw maniac from the song Maniac, which is really, really cool. Lose yourself in my free movement. Look at me. Get basically casting a spell and charming the fuck out of everyone is really, really cool. And then like the bridge with Sungmin, Ian, and Bangchan, like no matter what we do, even if we try to not stand out, we stand right out. And then uploading the fact that we're going up is also really, really cool. We're flying around, as they right now even more so do. Too much attention, it's focused on me, even if I'm tired of it. It can't be helped. That's actually really, really cool, because you can turn it off the second you get to that point. It's impossible to turn off, even if you feel like it's too much. You just have to keep fighting through it, and you have to kind of like keep on pushing. The harder it is, the harder I have to keep on going. Like, you can't do anything about the fact that you're a bit of a charmer, I guess. This song is absolutely awesome. The beat is fucking wonderful. Honestly, it's freaking awesome. Let's move on to the next song, which is Waiting for Us. This one is with Bangchan, Lino, Sungmin, and IN. Oh, sounds very hopeful.
가려진 시간 속에 뛰는 난 그대가 보고 싶다. 가까이 다가오는 겨울 끝의 light 하루만 더 견뎌본다. 너와 나 피어난 날 부러운 날 그리웠던 너와 내 만남 Feeling alive 꽃잎이 떨어지는 날 기다릴게 I'm here
Oh, Sungmin.
시린 날들이 힘들었을까 내가 모른다고 생각할까 그늘의 빛이었던 너 내밀어 내 손 잡을 수 있게 Cause I'm right here waiting for us 때로는 두려웠어 다시 놓지 않을 것 같아서 손꼽 잡은 채 그 어떤 순간이든
This is the most Day 6 song by Stray Kids. Damn.
길고 길었던 기다림 끝에 차가운 공긴 끝이고 따뜻한 온기로 얼어붙었던 내 맘도 녹아 얼어있던 네 맘을 이제 녹여줄게
song going. That's beautiful. Um, I need a second after this one. I feel like a lot of love songs that songs that describe feelings of loving someone, of missing someone, you can always kind of make a little bit of a connection to the group talking to the fandom as well. And I feel like this is one of those cases because literally the lyrics say, I'm here always. Like Stray Kids will always be there for stay. Even if we're not there physically, our music is basically always there. You can always comfort yourself. And I like the fact that some of the lyrics do feel like almost like talking to a loved one, but that loved one could potentially be just the fans. It could be stay. I miss seeing you feeling alive. I'll be waiting for the day in which the petals fall, as later like the cold season kind of ends, and the way my heart was frozen melts with your warmth. I'll melt your frozen heart too, as far as like expressing the feelings of how our music affected you, but how you also affected us in your affection towards us. And as much as as you've waited for me, I'll never let you go. So it's basically really, really cool because they've been waiting for them, the fans. We have been waiting for Stray Kids and vice versa. And also some of the lyrics even represent like fear, which like in a romantic side is also interesting. But here, like the more I think about the fans, the more it might actually make sense. Like I was afraid, I didn't think you'd ever come again, so I'll tightly hold your hand. No matter what moment comes, I won't let you go. And even wishing for the day in which we'd smile facing each other. As much as you've waited, I'll hug you with my whole body. It legitimately feels like almost like seeing the fans again, especially with the context of like the pandemic, in the context of not being able to see the fans, and then when you finally do, it's just an exchange of loving emotions. But the song could also kind of apply to a perspective of a loved one, and not even necessarily like a romantic loved one, but just a loved one in general, as far as like someone that meant the world to you, that you thought that you uh maybe never see, and someone that wanted to see you more than anything in their life, but the circumstances did not allow for it. I wonder if the cold days were difficult. Do you think I don't know how you felt? You are the light in the shade. Reach out so I can hold your hand. Like, you are the light in my shade, in my darkness. So reach that hand out through that light so I can reciprocate with the same warmth that you gave me. I feel like maybe I'm a little bit off, but it does feel more so like a song that really expresses love towards a loved one, but not in a romantic sense, but also love towards the fans potentially. This was absolutely beautiful. All of these guys did like the harmony between them. It just works so well, and it's not even something that I expected. And the style, almost like this rock ballad, it's not something that I was expecting. But literally the chorus, it's blooming, it's blowing, feeling alive. I'll be waiting for the day in which the petals fall. So petals like fall in spring potential. Do they fall in spring? When the leaves start falling off all over the place. So maybe a specific season at which they will see each other again, like a live concert and all that kind of stuff, or the return of Stray Kids in general. As far as wait, when was this album actually released? So the album was literally, I remember it being released in March, but the season is literally spring, so maybe that's what the song represents and what this album kind of represents in another way. This was absolutely beautiful. I was blown away by their vocals, and I'm always down for the rock sound. And this song kind of makes me think of the last album that we've checked out with Side A, whether it's Limbo or Stars in Raindrops, if I'm not mistaken, was the song by Sungmin, and Limbo by Lino. It's absolutely beautiful, and they totally fit that rock vibe. It's quite incredible, and the lyrics here are very, very charming, no pun intended. But this was wonderful, and the guys did a phenomenal job. Really love this song. Feels like quite a bit of a hug, much like IN himself, basically. But this song in general definitely feels like very positive and makes you hope for kind of like better days and whatnot. So let's move on to the final song on this album.
Rain falling on my face, I'm washing off that sweat off. Making me cleaner than the dirt on my hot top. Suffer from the words you throw at me, but makes me tougher. Energetic youngster like me, let's play what he wants. I'm looking back at what you said behind my back. Doesn't matter, cause I'm a winner.
That beat is very retro, and Felix's delivery. Let's take it back. Holy shit.
Rain falling on my face, I'm washing off that sweat off. Making me cleaner than the dirt on my hot top. Suffer from the words you throw at me, but makes me tougher. Energetic youngster like me, let's play what he wants. I'm looking back at what you said behind my back. Doesn't matter, cause I'm a winner. Strong believer, 24/7 with the members, scoring goals like a team player. Execute the shadows all around me, call me Demon Slayer.
Demon Slayer, nice. Double knot, nice. So in context with the song Double Knot, I'm guessing like double knot is like double knot to ensure stability and to kind of like go into whatever you set yourself up for. Double knot to make sure that you don't lose sight of it and you go full throttle, basically, kind of potentially.
원망하는 것도 속된 아픈 척도 난 티를 절대 내지 않아 유치한 건 별로 원망하는 것도 속된 아픈 척도 다 튀어버린 진흙 뒷구함만 보고 달려가 Feeling so fly, feeling so fly Feeling so fly, feeling so fly This my lifestyle, this my lifestyle hey. Breathing, working, moving, sit down and listen for once 우린 going, 우리 말은 후회 내리는 빗물
I love this.
너도 모르게 흠뻑 젖지 탁한 공기 대신 맑은 공기 섭취 머리 water 물을 잊지 말고 멀리 꺼져 고인 물은 가리 고인 water This is our flow, just step off the show
The water is flowing.
This is our flow, just step off the show 땀을 빠진 껌을 씹어봤자 내 입만 나쁘니까 배쳐 랩 받듯이 삐끗해도 행실은 반드시 샤로 짠듯 약줄 풍기는 내게 내가 튀긴 듯 패브리지 한참 전에 내 빗물 고여있지 아직도 나아감을 멈칫하게 만드는 과속방지터 삐꺼 찍혀 도록도 피꺼 이미 내 발을 닦은 이 바닥에 딱 붙었지 삐꺼 Going move 겨울 때려 고였군 제법 탁한 수질 오염 주범들 황급히 대피 흘러내려갈 또 피해 진상 규명 시급해 다들 랩이는 여금만 랩이고 나 몰라 잘못은 쟤네가 떠넘김 불통에 더하기 먹통 고구마 100개 먹은 듯한 기분이야 버젓이 고개를 바짝 터드는 곁바닥 판에서 들고 물이 저 뚜껑 닫아 거리를 깨끗이 오늘은 내가 청소 담당 Feeling so fly, feeling so fly
Holy shit.
Feeling so fly This my lifestyle, this my lifestyle hey. Breathing, working, moving, sit down and listen for once 우린 going, 우리 말은 후회 내리는 빗물 바꿔놓지 세상의 기준 너도 모르게 흠뻑 젖지 탁한 공기 대신 맑은 공기 섭취
Oh my god.
물을 잊지 말고 멀리 꺼져 고인 물은 가리 고인 water This is our flow, just step off the show. 머리 water. 굴리지 좀 말고 흘러가라. 물은 가라 going water. This is our flow, just step off the show.
Holy shit, that was amazing. That was pure savagery with this song. Holy smokes. I love that overall the song is like literally showing that you are above the hate, but just because you're above it, just because you choose to not be suffering, much like Felix says, I suffer from the words you throw at me, but it makes me tougher. And you know, my young energy and just the young energy of Stray Kids and the ambition is basically we don't mind playing in muddy water. We don't care about getting dirty. In Thunderous, Felix literally says, "I'm not sorry, I'm dirty." We don't play by the rules, which is really, really, really awesome. And it's kind of like them kind of like reiterating those points again, because we don't go by the rule book. We took that rule book and we threw it into the trash can. And if you get into it with us, you will get wet, which is a very kind of like mild threat. So rather than just saying you'll be sleeping with the fishes, but the 24/7 with the members scoring goals like a team player is really, really cool. I mean, we've already talked so much about how incredible they're pretty much workaholics by this point. They're absolutely insane, and I love the reference to Demon Slayer as literally not just the reference itself, but also like executing the shadows around me, executing the hate, as literally Felix in Lonely Street executes the shadow, going from this to then pointing the gun at the shadow was really, really cool. I holy shit. And the double knot, again, basically by double knotting the shoes were going our way, just to kind of like further reiterate our ambition and our strive towards the path that we chose. So we don't care about the haters, even though we were bothered by them. We're still going to show class, much like Hyunjin says. Even if I resent you, I pretend it doesn't hurt. I step on the splattered mud, then I just look forward and run because I got that double knot, so I don't care. I know that my feet, my shoes are secured, and I'm gonna be moving my way despite the shadows and the muddy water and all of that fucking negativity and darkness that that is around me. Also, like the pre-chorus says, "I'll change all the standards of the world. You'll get soaked without even realizing it." Like basically, Stray Kids world domination in a way, like living life by our rules instead of abiding to the rules that are currently in society, which is kind of like what Maniac was in a way. This is our flow. Stop killing the mood. Go away. It's like we don't even care. Like you're just getting in the way. It's not gonna stop us. You're just kind of like killing the mood, but it's not going to kill our path. It's not. It is just a bit of a some rocks that are being thrown my way. It's not something that is going to kill me. And I love the Changbin verse, "When I chew gum that has lost its sweetness, it hurts. It just hurts my mouth, so I spit it out like I'm spitting out my raps." That's really, really cool and kind of relatable, minus the raps, because I can't rap to save my life. But if I lose my step, my behavior is straight as a ruler, because they are, unlike talking about the modesty and charmer, they are incredibly humble, and they're these guys are incredibly relatable and very down to earth. And I love like referencing to like toxic people and whatnot as rotten water. Rotten water people are just as rotten as they'll ever be. And talking about water pollution, as far as polluting my water, messing up with my flow, killing my vibe, and all of that kind of stuff. Everyone's ability to avoid the blame is at a high level, but I don't know it's their problem. That's really, really cool, because I don't have that problem. If I make a mistake, I take accountability, but we live in a world where everybody just throws the blame around like a hot potato, which is kind of ironic because there's also a reference to eating 100 sweet potatoes or something like that. So that's pretty cool as well. Plus the lack of communication got it all cut up. It feels like I ate 100 sweet potatoes. This is really, really cool. I'm in charge of keeping the streets clean today. They want to change the world. They want to take over the world. And by changing the world, you'll be breathing in the fresh air instead of this dusty air, which is, you know, the pollution and all the rotten people, water people, and all that kind of stuff. This is really, really cool, and they're also like kind of like equating themselves to the rainwater that comes after that stagnant water that has dried up, like that rotten water. They're gonna clean this entire shit down, or clean this whole world up and make it better by taking over and basically kind of like fighting the norm and just kind of like get their message across, which is really, really amazing, which is kind of like what I felt like we had with Maniac, basically. Only this is even more straightforward, and I love the beat of the song. I really love the flow here. I loved the beat, which felt kind of retro, and even the delivery with Felix. And I love the contrast between him going with English as opposed to everyone else. And Hyunjin did a phenomenal job. Changbin did a phenomenal job. Han really went off. I love the message of the song, as I always do with Stray Kids. I always feel like I can talk so much about their lyrics whenever I react to them, and I really enjoyed kind of like putting the finishing touches on this entire album with Ordinary, as I reacted to pretty much everything else on this album, everything that had a music video, and these three songs are the ones that were kind of missing. So I'm very happy to get into it and yeah, do this kind of like a triple reaction, I guess. In a way, I really, really love the song, and Charmer just has that charm on me, to be honest. I really, really love that song, but like the straightforwardness of Muddy Water was just incredible. I loved how in your face it was. And Waiting for Us was just a really nice change of pace, of just kind of like an appreciation to whether it's to the fans or to a loved one, but a loved one can be a fan and just stay as a whole, as equating to one person, basically, that is representing one person. It was just a really nice change of scenery for me, and I love like that rock vibe, almost like this ballad, I guess. Technically, it's what it is, and I love the lyrics a lot, and just the sound itself. I'm kind of constantly saying, "Oh, this reminds me of Day Six and all of that." So maybe that's kind of getting a little bit old, but in any case, I always mean that as a compliment, obviously. This song really kind of made me want to listen to Limbo and Stars and Raindrops again. So I feel like that's exactly what I'm going to do later today. So I'm going to end it here. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this reaction. If you did, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and I will catch you all in the next one. Hope you're all doing well, and have a wonderful day, guys. See ya.